And actually, we're collecting Twitter handles and stuff for anyone who wants to click that, just the left blue little line cloud.
Wow, thank you so much for that, Shelly. So like Shelly says, if you want to turn on the back channel, it's on the top left of your screen. There's a blue button. Go ahead and click that and you can see, I guess, Shelly, we're putting Twitter handles in there, which is fantastic, so I'll go ahead and do that now. So anyway, so, and I'll put a link to it too. So our sort of Super Bowl was, if you have access to a swimming pool, either at your site or close to your site, we do something called Cardboard Regatta. So it's like a STEM project. You get cardboard boxes donated, or you bring in cardboard boxes, and you build boats, and you can tie in science with like buoyancy. I can tie in math with fractions and construction, and STEM with science. So I'll try to. I've got a link to the actual boat race, which I'll put in the chat, and it's super fun. Obviously, it's very challenging logistically, but it's, if you can do it, like parents come out, it's like the Super Bowl. It's super fun.
I think that sounds awesome. You make me think about the book I just really got into recently, Dave Burge's Teach Like a Pirate. Have you read that? He's phenomenal, and so we're really embracing this year kind of that wow factor, that hands-on, that getting the kids involved, and we're even making our theme as we start the year. I don't know if you all do the themes, but, you know, lead like a pirate. And we're dressing up. We're getting the teacher teams are naming their boat, and they're all excited to dress like pirates. And we're really getting, of course, I'm a K through 5 school, so we're really excited. And that's the kind of lesson planning, you know, that we're hoping to encourage across all the grade levels. I got my pirate costume.
So who's next? Who wants to share something awesome they've done, their school's done, in their class, or it's got to be something awesome out there?
I can share. I'm at the district level, so I was actually, it was a school of ours that did something, and it was an innovation week. They called it Splice Week. And they were neat because what they did was they got admin support and completely just got rid of the day. So no music, no French, no Rotary, no phys ed. And for a week, the kids were just told you have to make something. It could be anything. And then you have to reflect on the process throughout. And the teacher went around and did some facilitation. I'll give you the link to the project, what it looked like and that sort of thing. It was grade 7 and 8 students, and then they presented to one another, and it was just incredible to see the variety. One of the most memorable was the students they started off creating a potato launcher, but it didn't work out, so they changed it to a marshmallow launcher, and just like documenting the process and sharing it and putting it on video. They said it was the best project ever. And when it came to assessment, what I thought was really interesting was that the teachers chose to just assess it based on oral communication, so their ability to present to their peers. And what was neat about that was that all the kids got a great mark because they were so excited to present their projects because they were so personal to them. So I'll put the link in, but that was one of the things that really excited me this year.
Awesome. Was this little kids, big kids? What was the grade level again?
Grade 7, 8. But I think you could do it anywhere.
I'll chime in next. Can you hear me okay? I have a new headset.
Yeah, we got you, Susie. We got you.
All right. Let me know if I'm too loud. A 6th grade teacher at my school did that was probably a 2-month-long project where kids were assigned to represent different people with an opinion on the Keystone Pipeline. Right. And they connected with people all throughout. They connected with people in Canada, people in the Dakotas. The kids were assigned a position and they had to research it, and we Skyped and we FaceTimed and they called some people on the phone with actual people, and then they presented their position to a panel of experts. They contacted Greenpeace, the Sierra Club, the pipeline company, workers, and it was very cool. The kids dressed up. They had a formal presentation. And kind of like Jennifer just said, they were judged on the quality of their presentation, not, what they said. But it was very cool.
Yeah, I've got something that I can share. I've been the last couple of years been involved in a project linked with a couple of universities in Australia that use an international telescope network. And basically, recently I actually had uh, I imaged some astronomical objects using a telescope in Texas at Fort Worth, and then but it was a couple of spiral galaxies, and then I get the students to actually do astronomy, real astronomy, using research grade equipment from around the world, which is really good.
Walk us through some logistics? Like, is it all web based? I
Yeah.
wouldn't know where to begin.
So basically, what I do is that there's an astronomer that I work with from a university in Australia over in Perth.
Yeah.
And basically, all I do is log in. Like, can I screen share? Is that possible?
Yeah, it's the second button down so the top button is chat,
Yeah.
and the second button down is green, and it's screen shared. And if you tap that, we'll still have your audio, so your mic will still work. We should be, yay, there you go.
All right. Yeah, so it's basically this network here. And so basically what I do is I log in, and yeah, so I've got to log in, so I've got all the login details that have been given to me, and yeah, and I log in and I choose the telescope that I want to use. And yeah, so obviously what I wanted to do was to actually have the imaging being done while my school was running. But obviously it has to be night time, so that's why I chose Texas, because when it's daytime here, it's night time over there. And yeah, what I ended up getting was there's some of the images I got recently. So these are the raw images. They haven't even been processed yet, and yet they look, pretty good already. So I can't wait until the students have actually processed it. Yeah, so basically you sign up through, in my case, a university in Australia, and they sort of get your LinkedIn, and I'll just unshare my screen. Yeah, so basically you link in, and yeah, you book a time slot, so it then gets approved, and it then automatically images the galaxy or whatever. So you've got to tell it the coordinates, the time that you want to image the object, the filter that you want to use, whether it's red, green, or blue, and for how long, and then it images it and it sends it to your computer, basically, which is amazing.
Awesome. Wow, that sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that, Brad. Two logistical things. Susie, I don't know, are you outside? It keeps cutting to you for some reason. You might want to mute your mic, just because it keeps cutting your screen and the screen share.
Sure.
So, I don't know, are you outside maybe, or?
No.
Huh, okay. There's some, I don't know, there might be some background noise there. Anyway, and it still says it's on you right now, or is it on me? Oh well. So, and actually, Robert, did you just join us? I know your mic's muted. If you want to unmute your mic and introduce yourself, you can.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure bet.
All right. Apologize for the blue head. I need to update my social network here. I'm Robert. I'm a 6th and 7th history teacher at a middle school in Los Angeles, California. And I'm just kind of checking this place out, seeing what other teachers are doing. And everyone else.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Robert. I lost you for a second at the end there, but I totally got the vast majority of it. If you there is a back channel. If you click the blue button in the top left corner, you can put your Twitter handle in the chat. And a few people have shared already. We're sort of doing all grades share because it maybe can be adapt, and a few people have gone already. Would anyone else like to do a share?
I'll share. What we do, I'm a 6th grade teacher, and I think this could be easily adapted for, I don't know, any grade. But we do a lot of research on towers, the different towers. You know, you've got the I don't know, name a famous tower.
Eiffel.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Eiffel Tower. We look at all of the different towers. We kind of define what a tower is. And then we actually make a tower. We have a competition to see who can make the tallest freestanding tower with just 2 pieces of newspaper. You get no tape, nothing. I mean, they have to really try to, yeah, I know, you're thinking. But the kids can come up with ways. We can usually get it up to about 17, 18, 19 inches. And then our big culminating thing is that we take a box of spaghetti, a lasagna noodle, marshmallows, and linguine, and then they try to build the tallest freestanding structure that they can. And they get 2 hours to do it, so I usually do it near the end of school when school is, you're done with your testing and things like that. And they just build. They build it. They've got to do a lot of teamwork. They've got to plan it out. A lot of kids that'll fall and they'll, oh, wait. Oh, I know what, we need to do. We need to make the base bigger. Or we need to, and they really do. We went for about an hour and 20 minutes. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of collaboration. It was a lot of rethinking and restarting. And I know the kids had a really good time doing that.
Awesome. If anyone has follow-up questions, go ahead and jump on in. I know I have one. So this is not like a curricular thing. This sounds like a team-building kind of activity?
I kind of made it into my own curriculum. I went out there and bought a tower video, and it showed how towers were made. It went into, I think it's called Building Big, and there's actually a website. And we went there, and I took some of the prequel type things that we did, and went ahead and did those things. That's where I came up with the newspaper tower challenge. And there was another thing that we made. We made like a geo I forget what it was called, but it was this dome. I mean, I could fit like 3 or 4 kids in it, and it was just made out of like a newspaper. It was rolling the newspapers and putting them together. I can get the link out to everyone. And we just, kind of learned that, triangles were really strong, and, your base is really important. You don't want a heavy, upper part. Your lower part needs to be the strong thing and the heavier part. And so it really was a curriculum that I developed using a lot of help from a lot of other people and, other lessons.
So I think Jennifer might have thrown a question out. Is that?
Yeah, I was just saying, we did a marshmallow challenge, and we linked it specifically to teaching kids how to work with each other, teamwork and collaboration. But in Canada, we actually have to assess that, and it's called learning skills. So I just didn't know whether or not you have the same thing in the U.S. or if you have it in BC, Matthew. So that's how we used it, because it didn't have that many curriculum connections. But I love what you did with the tower connection. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't, like I said, I did it at the end of the year, so it wasn't something that was assessed, but I mean, I'm sure it definitely could be with engineering and, like you said, the collaboration and things like that. The kids also had to write a report on a famous tower, so they all had to like research their towers, and they did it like on an iPad, so they were able to share it with the class. And the kids got a lot of ideas. It had to include a picture, and so we kind of looked at the structure of the towers and how they were built and when they were built, what they were made out of, who was the architect, and just kind of went through all of that stuff. But it really was something that I just kind of picked and pulled from a lot of different places. I think the website was called Building Big, and it had an actual DVD that was amazing. I mean, it talked about how they have these towers that, you've got to think about as you're building these huge towers, they're going to sway, and all these mechanisms that they have inside of them. And so the kids really got a taste and a flavor for it. And these towers have been standing for hundreds of years. So it was, we looked at church towers and bell towers and yeah. So it was, I think the kids really got a lot out of it.
Robert, do you want to, I don't know anything about the standard. Do you want to chime in your comment? You made some comment about the Common Core. Did he leave? Oh, no, he's
Sure.
here.
No, I'm still here. Yeah, well, I'm assuming most of our states have adopted Common Core for your U.S. teacher. I know some have opted out, but in California, we're following Common Core standards, and depending on your grade level, collaboration's probably packaged in there somewhere. And if not, at the very least, we're going to realize it's best practice to get kids working together, being active, like you had mentioned in your activity, just that active learning. They're just going to get so much more out of it, and you can really assess their skills in that type of activity. So, in the U.S., it's definitely packaged into at least our new Common Core standards.
And Robert,
even just the listening and speaking that is so huge in the Common Core when they had to present, and they had to present their towers. They had to say what worked, what didn't work. It was, a group thing that they actually had to come up and it wasn't just, okay, we're done. I mean, it was, they really had to pull something together, and everyone had to talk and tell what worked and what didn't work.
and it's funny, like when you mentioned the building the thing out of paper, like I've seen that challenge before, and oh golly, and maybe someone can help me out. It's not Odyssey of the Mind, but there's another sort of big Odyssey of the Mind, and I'm going to kick myself because I can never remember its name, but there's another big Odyssey of the Mind type group where it's the same idea, except it's a little more like, I think Odyssey of the Mind is more like hard skills like math and science, and whereas this one's more like team building and God, and if I think of it, I'll put it in the chat, or if anybody else thinks of it. But yeah, those things. But maybe going back to Robert, are there a lot of? I'm not great with the Common Core. Are there a lot of like soft skills baked into Common Core? I think you mentioned listening, or maybe Kimmy mentioned that.
Yeah, listening and speaking.
Is collaboration in there? Like getting along, playing nicely?
Yeah, not really playing nicely, but like you said, just listening and speaking, being able to, talk in front of a group, and that's one of the biggest challenges. You give a sixth grader an assignment, and they put their PowerPoint up there, and they want to read the slides. It's, trying to teach them that ease of speaking in front of an audience, and there's listening and speaking skills for each one of the major subject areas.
Samantha chimed in. Do you want to share what you said there in chat?
Yeah, sure. Can you? Oh, there we go. Okay. So we don't follow Common Core, at least at my high school, like at the high school level. But kind of going along with like what Kim was talking about with the tower. So I teach chemistry. And from day one, I don't go over the syllabus day one. What we do is we come in, and for my regular chemistry class, we do what's called Build the Boat, which is very similar to the tower. They're given like aluminum foil, cardboard, tape, straws, things like that. And I only give them 20 minutes because we only have 40-minute class periods. So I give them 20 minutes, and I say, build the best boat you can. Oh, by the way, you have to pay for every like piece of equipment that you use. And then in terms of like figuring out what the best boat is, we stack pennies on top. And so what we do is, they have 20 minutes, they work through that, they have to calculate, so we start doing math and everything right away. They have to calculate like how much they spend, and then what we do is we kind of look at the ratio, like how much did they spend per penny. And then that's kind of how we go through everything. And then we kind of debrief at the end, or we do it the next day, with like what was the hardest thing, what was the easiest thing. And then I kind of tie that into you're working in groups from day one until the last day of the school year. And so it kind of like builds in with, everything, like you have to be able to collaborate, you have to be able to work in a team. But then it also lets me see on the first day, like who's going to be the leader, who's just going to kind of follow along, who are the strong personalities in the class. So that's a really good activity to do, and I can see if I can find it and like share it with you guys in the Google Doc or something later. I have a PowerPoint that I use. And then in my AP class, we actually do something similar where they have to create the best bouncy ball using glue and borax. And then again, I always include the cost because that includes the math in there. And then they have to actually communicate everything at the end on a whiteboard. So they have to put everything on, like how much money did they spend, how would they rate their bouncy ball, what would they do over if they could do that over again. So, you know, kind of like just start all of that on day one. And then, you know, day two, then we get into the rules and lab safety and everything.
Awesome.
I love that. You need to find the link to that. I would love to do something like that, especially like you said, first days of school. That would be great. I would love a copy of that. If I follow you, I can bug you for that, or
Yeah, and what I'll do here, let me make myself a note right now. I just have a handout for the bouncy ball lab that I should be able to find. I have the Build a Boat PowerPoint. And then in like the teacher's notes, because I'm all about like giving myself notes on the first day of school because I don't sleep very much the night before.
Yeah, me either.
And so I always like put the teacher notes down there. So I'll see if I can find those things, and then I'll like I can put it in the Google Doc that they shared in the chat too. But if you follow me,
there's a Google Doc. I didn't see that.
I think, well, maybe it was up somewhere. Well, if not, you can. If you follow me, I can like message it to you on Twitter too.
I have the Google. If you go to the left side and you put the corner blue, the little blue icon in the corner, then you're going to see with the lines, you'll see at the top there's a Google Doc. And I'll post it again so that way everyone can put in their projects and then we can tweet it later, and that way it'll be good for all of us because we'll have our student projects out there. I've copied and pasted Matt's. I have the link from Jennifer if she wants to go back and put more detail. We have the Keystone Pipeline project, and then I put in my details, but feel free, anyone, to edit it.
So wait, when I put the blue thing, that just says chat.
Yeah, if you look at the chat, then the link will be up there. You just have to
scroll. Okay. And
I'll put it in the doc right now, actually. I'll put the link in again.
Okay, and then I'll add my stuff. I can add it later on because it's a Google Doc, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sherry, I saw that you shared out a Pinterest link. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Oh yeah, sorry, I've been listening but managing the Google Docs. We did a project where we actually did, my project is, so I've done it with different grades, but I'm sharing what I do with my students in Spain. And so what they do is they do a final project portfolio, e-portfolio reflection, and so you can see what it is in that Pinterest link, and then I'm also sharing links to what it looks like. One of the links, so what they do is basically each module, because we talk about modules, but you can use it for, it's the same as each unit. You would have your students document 3 things. One is their favorite an activity they're really proud of that they did for that topic or unit. The other is, so it's like a project they did or a task or something. Another is a resource that they found. And then the other is a reading. So they have 2 resources. One is a tool or something like that they thought was really cool, but the other is a reading material or a video or something that that was more research and background information. For each one, we did ours on Pinterest because these were students that never had used web tools before, so we thought Pinterest would be good. I recommend EduClipper for K through 12. EduClipper is really great, fantastic tool. It's what it allows you to do is it's like Pinterest. You have a curation. You have a board. Each student has a board, and they're able to add reflections. But what it does is it allows us, each of our students, to go and to heart it and to also make a comment. So each of our students did that. At the end of the year, they have to use a tool like VoiceThread, Present.me, or Prezi, and they show clips. So they go back for each module and they talk about it. So they say things like, this is what I really enjoyed, you know, this is what I started at, and this is what I did for each module. So in the chat, I'm going to put a link to one of a really great example of one that we used. I could screen share to kind of let you know what that is real quick so you can get an idea. I guess, but I guess
for hundreds of years. So it was, you know, when you look at church towers and bell towers and yeah. So it was, I think the kids really got a lot out of it.
Robert, do you want to?
I don't know if, well, maybe it's just better if I just put the, I don't know if the screen share is going to mess up things for people. Well, this is what it kind of looked like.
Is anyone getting Shelley's screen share? Oh, there it is. I got it.
And I don't know if you hear me, but this is a student basically sharing where he's at because we do this online. But you can do this with teens. I've done it with teens. You can do it with adolescents as well. And then what they do, if you look, I'm going to speed ahead. He's showing the module and what he did. That was his project.
This is all EduClipper, Shelley?
No, this one is actually from Present.me. They can use, okay, so I'll share that real quick. Let me see, sorry. This is the Prezi boards that I have with each of them. But our Prezi for each one, our students is, let me go ahead and do, they were, let's see, but they basically had a board like this and they reflected on each of them. You could do the same with EduClipper. We didn't do EduClipper because it was going to already be a hard buy-in for our students anyway. So that's the only reason we didn't at the time. But if it was a mandatory in our school, then yes, we would have done that. But you can see, like, for example, some of their Prezis, that's what they look like. That's saying each of the themes for the week. I mean, for the course. For the course, they did each of those. So I guess with Prezi, it might look a little bit better to see. And then I'll get off here in case anybody has questions or we have more projects to share.
I just really quick, I just added to that Google Doc, a link to the bouncy ball handout and then a link to the PowerPoint for the Build-A-Boat. So, like for those that were interested, it's on the Google Doc now. It's in my Google Drive. If you want like a separate copy or anything, if you just like message me on Twitter and tell me, I can email it to you or anything.
Oh, thank you. And actually, yeah, if everyone can go and put it, I'm going to tweet them later so that way everybody else gets access to kind of these projects. And so they're so great, they can kind of go on and continue with other teachers looking for projects. This is what the portfolio looked like, and just to give you an idea of the modules. And they could add voice with Prezi, and that's free. And I'm going to get off screen sharing so that way somebody else can get on there as well. Sorry about that.
Awesome. I'd like to try something. I don't know if this is going to work. People can hear me now, right? Is that, God, did I turn on effects? Boy, I look like an idiot. So I really don't even know how to turn that on. I did. Wait, how do I? Oh my God, really? I'm so embarrassed. Move all effects. Oh my God, please work. Oh, phew, okay. So I'm gonna do a little thing. I got a laugh there from thank you from Alan Smith. So I want to do a little commercial break because I want to talk about this little lower third here for a second because that's usually like, how do I get the lower third? Like that's something people ask. So before, I know we have some new people and I want to have them introduce themselves in a second. I know Kim, I think joined in. No, wait, Kim's been here. No, Julie, and I think Julie's new. So we'll have you introduce yourself in a second, Julie. But before we do, I want to do a screen share. Oh my God, I hope this works. And I want to show people how to do the lower third. Can someone like nod or something if they have my screen? Good, okay. So if you want to do the lower third, what you do is you need this right here. Like you need the Hangout toolbox. So how do you get the Hangout toolbox? So to get the Hangout toolbox, you go down here to the little triple dot. Right. So I'm on in this. So okay. So you go down to the triple dot and you click Add Apps. All right, and there's not very many of them. Find the little thing that looks like a toolbox, and then push Add the Video Call. This little green button right here. So after you do that, you should see the little toolbox over here. Again, that was triple button, and then add the little Hangout toolbox. And then when you click on that, you click on the little dude right there. You type usually you put your name on the top and either your job title or Twitter handle is probably the best thing you can put on the bottom. And then you push this little on switch there, and bam, then you have lower third. I don't know, Shelly, can you have lower third if you're voice only? Probably not, right? Because I don't see one for you, but I don't think that doesn't make sense, would it? So
no, you can't. Yeah, it's kind of a yeah, you can't.
Okay.
But later when I'm not in my jammies, I'll do that.
Awesome. So anyway, that's a common question. So if you want to turn your lower third, like it's just fun and it's neat and stuff. Okay, so enough of the commercial break. Let's. I think Julie jumped in. So Julie, if you want to unmute your mic and maybe introduce yourself, and if you want after you introduce yourself, if you want a shared practice, something you do with your class, that's awesome. If you want.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Give me a thumbs up. Hi, my name is Julie Allspot. I work with a virtual program. So I just wanted to come in and find out some of the interesting things you guys are doing. One of the things I'm doing right now, and I really can't share it with you yet because I don't have product for it yet, but we're doing a mobile application development club through MAD Learning, Mobile Application Development. And we're going to be doing that where my kids are going to be doing kind of informational, not game apps, but kind of more like wiki apps. And that will be a club we're going to be running during the summer, or during the school year. So I'm just really here to learn about what you guys are doing.
Great. My wife's in the chat. You don't want to say anything, do you? Okay, that's a no. So I think everybody shared. Has everybody shared once? I can't remember. All right, let's open it up to round two then. Does anybody have something else that they or their school do that's awesome?
Can I just ask if people can go to Google Doc and just add your name next to your project? That would be great because then we know, or if you have a link, that would be fantastic. So we can share your link to it and things like that. Then everybody will know where to get more information and stuff.
We have 5 minutes left, so plenty of time for a second share if anybody wants to jump in for a second share.
I'm doing, I don't know if this, so, I mean, it's not really projects, but we're doing a lot of, there's a lot of activities I'm doing recently. I've developed on my blog with icebreakers that include emojis and selfies. And it sounds maybe a little silly, but it's basically like an awareness to get students to create selfies are better. Is a concept of the way they see themselves online. So it's we show the epic selfie video, and then from there there's a free template and everything. I'll put in the blog, but it's for them to do a back to school selfie. They have to do things like take a selfie with their favorite book, with a new peer. It could be somewhere in the building, a selfie, and it's 20 slides, or because then afterwards they do like an Ignite or a Petachka presentation, where they basically share what their back to school selfie adventure. And you could do it with like if it's math, your teacher. One teacher who's adjusting it for science, and she's doing it to where they do things like they have to take a selfie that shows like a theory of gravity or something like that. A Pechakucha is a Japanese presentation style. What it is, it's 20 slides on a PowerPoint, and you got 20 seconds for each slide to be able to say something about it. So your students go up there, and basically it's a way for them to give a short 5 minutes. If it's the Ignite, it's the same thing, or a 6 minute and 40-second presentation.
Fantastic.
But I'll add the links.
All right. So we're at a 2-minute warning. I feel like we should do like a 2-minute, like 30-second, like shameless plug. So if you want, you have like 30 seconds to plug a blog, oh my God, a blog, a book. You want to plug it, go bananas. Anybody got anything?
Well, I have 2 books. I have the 30 Goals Challenge for Teachers and Learning to Go, teacherrebootcamp.com or shellyterrell.com.
And we also got before we're showing plugs, does everybody knows? Like, does everybody know who Shelly Terrell is? I'm gonna guess no. I'm gonna embarrass Shelly right now. You can say after this Google Hangout, you can say I had a Google Hangout with Shelly Terrell. She was one of the co-founders of EdChat, like the original EdChat, and she's got, I don't know, Shelly's got like 1 billion followers on Twitter, so she's like totally edu-famous. So you can say, did you know that, Samantha? You're laughing. I don't know if you didn't know that. So, okay, I knew there was at least one person out there who did it. So you can say I was in a hangout. So that's pretty funny. Okay. Any other shameless plugs? Blog, book, anything?
I mean, I guess I'm reading this right now. I don't know if anyone has ever like heard of Aaron Sams, but he's like my hero right now because I'm going to start flipping my classroom this year. So I read Flip Your Classroom. It's like $15 on the ISTE website, but super helpful if you're even thinking about flipping your classroom at all. That's kind of what got me like in the Twitterverse. Like I just started really using Twitter this year. But I did like the flip class. It's the hashtag flip class. Twitter chat is also Monday night at 8 o'clock. So if you want to do that too.
And Brad in chat says read the book. It's great. All right, we're last call. We're gonna stop like in a minute. Last call. Shameless plugs. Anything? Anybody got anything you want to plug?
Art of Tinkering. I'm taking a tinkering class right now, and it's just been amazing. We're doing circuits, and it's based on a museum in San Francisco, and the people there are awesome and great.
Awesome. Robert, do you want to elaborate on fish philosophy for schools? What? I never heard of that.
Okay, so I'll be as quick as I can. I worked 6 years in finance. I was with the company that adopted the fish philosophy, which was originated at Pike's Place Fish Market in Seattle. Check out a video on YouTube about it, but they have a school curriculum as well. You don't need to get the curriculum, which is like $200. You could just easily adapt it from resources off the internet, but it's about building school culture and creating a positive classroom climate. Awesome.
I like to be punctual, and when Sarah Thomas tells me to stop at 2:55, I'm stopping at 2:55. So I think we're going to call it. I'm going to do my last shameless plug, mattfrat.com. I'll put it in the chat, and I'll put it in. And by the way, Shelly, thank you so much for that document. I wouldn't even have thought of that, and thank you for managing that. Mattfrat.com. Lots of awesome videos. Check it out. It's super fun. Wow, this was awesome. Thank you, everybody. This was. I mean, I did Edcamp Home, which is kind of like this, but this was the first time for a lot of us. So thank you, everyone. What do we do next? Does anybody know what we do next? Do we go back to the homeroom?
I think so. If you all want, go ahead and add your links and everything to the Google Doc, because I'm going to tweet it in about, 15 minutes or something. So put your shameless plug in, put the books. I saw someone put the flip book, so anything like that, put in the Google Doc. It was great talking with you all and doing the first one with you all, Matt. You were an awesome leader.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Matt.
All right. Do I push hang up now and we just go back to the homeroom? Is that how this works?
I think so.
All right. Bye, everybody.